What are the best businesses to apply for visa in Europe? Let's talk about it now. Hi, I'm Oliver and welcome back to the channel AskMeStartup, where we talk about startups, small businesses, and the world that surrounds them. If you're new here, please consider subscribing and pushing the notification bell so YouTube lets you know whenever I'm uploading new content. If you're into business, if you plan to start a business, please feel free to download a free startup checklist, link in the description below. Okay, today a topic that is really important that I want to talk to you about is what are the best businesses as a startup to apply for a visa in Europe. Now, many of you might have written the comments, and I'm getting a lot of them, and I'm also getting a lot of emails asking me what type of business do I have to bring forward to be able to apply for a visa in Europe. And I want to be very frank with you. Sometimes people have a misconception of what a startup is and what the countries in Europe are actually looking for. Let's give you an example. Let's start about with businesses Europe is not looking for. For instance, we're not looking for an additional one-man consultancy company. No one is really interested in this because you can get consultancies all over the world. It is not a new idea. It will never be disruptive. Hence, it is also depending on the work life and the work hours of a person. Hence, it is not scalable in any matter. Or we're not looking for coffee roasters or people selling coffee on the street. Just because you're not selling it in a house or in a restaurant like Starbucks is doing doesn't mean it's innovative enough to be a startup. If you, however, twist that idea and maybe come up with a very sustainable way to produce coffee, to roast coffee, and then, which also makes it taste better and much cheaper, we're talking a different game here. Or we're not looking for import and export companies. I'm not saying these are bad businesses, don't get me wrong. You can earn a hell lot of money with these companies. And if you're doing it right, you will be a rich businessman one day. But to be able to apply for a startup visa in Europe, you need to think different. What I mean by this? You need to think more in the terms of Uber and Airbnb than instead of consultancy. Uber has had a big disruptive effect on the taxi industry. Airbnb has a big disruptive effect on the hotel and recreational industry. So, think of this in terms of your business and your startup, and you will be, granted a visa in almost any country in Europe. Here are some ideas for you to think through. Something everybody's looking for is healthcare. If you got a great disruptive healthcare idea, you're more than welcome to start your business in Europe and get the funding for it. Why? Because we're all getting older and healthcare is a big problem in any Western society, and it's very, very costly. China, for instance, learning it the hard way now as well, because they got this aging population, which is already 1/3 of the current population, and the costs will be tremendous. So if you have any great idea that will disrupt current healthcare procedures, current healthcare cost plans, all these things, you are good to go in Europe. Or artificial intelligence and machine learning. These are technologies that have huge potential applied in the right way to disrupt current technologies. That could be in financial markets, that could be in healthcare. Think about combining healthcare and artificial intelligence. Now, for instance, we know that currently artificial intelligence is much better at detecting skin cancer than any trained human profession doctor. Think of this. So technology has big advantages, but there should be more. Maybe you can learn from the heartbeat of a smartwatch whatever illnesses somebody has. Come on, that will be great. Or if you do a combination of what people are looking for, their heart rate at this certain moment and the place they're maybe located in. I know there are a lot of personal data, but just think, outside the box and think of a way that makes it disruptive and really challenging for the future. And people would love to have that because it reduces the cost. It makes life easier for everybody and safer, and people will live longer. Or think of digital improvements for everybody's life. We just started, right? The Internet of Things. We just started with augmented reality. We just started with digital healthcare. We just started with all these basic things, but think of something that you think is important. Let me give you an idea. There is a cancer test, for instance, that can be done with a phone, with a mobile phone somewhere in the world. All you need is some blood and a specific microarray plate, and then you can have a very good approximation if somebody has cancer or not. Just, spin those ideas through and you will get maybe better ideas that are so innovative and so disruptive that you will love to get to here. Always combine these ideas. Now, I think at the end, now we should also talk about something that is more important than healthcare, that is more important than AI. Sustainability. My kids are complaining all the time about us polluting the ocean with plastic, us having such a high carbon footprint that we have global warming. The problem with solving these problems is that currently not all the business models are actually valid or good enough for investors to give you money. But Europe is looking for you. I want to stress out specifically France. You can link the video up here and take a look at it. They are funding sustainability startups. If you have an incredible idea of how to get rid of plastic or how to reuse the plastic that we have in the oceans, in our soil, everywhere, if you know a great idea of how to replace nanoparticles, nanoplastics, man, we would love to get you here because this will change the future. If you are an ingenious and know how to get rid of our carbon footprint and make our world livable again, we would love to get you here. And I can guarantee you that even though traditional investors will not fund you, countries like France will do. Why? Because in the future, 10, 15 years from now, we are in need of such technologies. And then everybody will pay for it. It's just that the venture capital currently are looking at a too short time frame. And you need to find some very rich angel investors that have the 10, 15, 20 years time frame or time horizon in their mind to be able to get the funding from them. And then it might not be enough. But since Europe, and just take that as a message to go, we're looking for ideas that will create jobs, that will create meaningful technologies and businesses in the future that are actually residing in Europe, then you will be granted a hand kiss just to come and provide your idea here. You will get the funding. There's no problem for this. All right, everybody. I hope this short video was helpful to you. If you got a question, just drop a comment down below. If you want to discuss your business idea with me, please feel free to do so. Just drop me an email. Smash the like button, please, because it really helps this channel to grow. And I thank you very much for your attention, and I'm going to see you next time.